Yo, it's happened Tuesday, the holy grail of the beat. What better day to spit gems? New York's legacy repeats. A weeknight, sit quiet, and for we it ain't dead. Ghost dog vibes, breaking it down in your head. Sit back, roll a blunt, let's elevate in style. Recollect the memory, city vibe, make it worthwhile. NFL fans gather round, we ready for the grind. This channel be my throne, leading you to unwind. Spitting facts on the mic, headphones set to the tone from the streets of the east. We making this our own.
This is a Gh0stDog mixtape original.
It's your boy Gh0stDog back at it again with another Tap In Tuesday here at the Aboriginal Sports Network. My apologies for last week. Life got in the way. That's just pretty much what that is. But I'm back at it again here with another Tap In Tuesday. Got a couple around the league news here. A couple things I want to dive into. But before we get into that, however, you make sure you go hit that subscribe, especially if you feel that vibe. We put it in over here, ladies and gentlemen, at the Aboriginal Sports Network. And we just, we appreciate if you just help you get better content. So with that being said, let's get right into it, man. Got a little bit of a free agency drama conversation here, if you will. More so than not, rather, Micah Parsons. But we're going to get into that situation. However, let's talk about the positives. Trey Hendrickson finally got a little bit of an extension. A nice little 1-year deal for about 29 to 30 mil. As far as the guarantees and all that stuff hasn't really come out. I'm sure as time goes on, we'll find out more details about these contracts. Terry McLaurin's included as well. However, we talk about Trey Hendrickson. And quite frankly, it's about time. And, does it really help the Bengals situation? Correct. However, if you really look at it, it's 1 year, so don't expect him to be here after next year. Or rather, after this year. So, there's that situation. The Bengals really got to figure it out. They got to stop. They have to escape this, they have this bad reputation of just being an absolutely cheap franchise. And it's stuff like this is why they have that stain on their franchise. However, it's good to see these players get paid, especially the ones that deserve it the most, rather. Speaking of, Scary Terry finally got his extension. Finally. So now, as a Giants fan, there's no excuse. No excuse whatsoever for when that ass whooping happens in the season opener. Okay? So happy that this man got his money. It was for a 3-year, $96 million. As I said, with the Hendrickson contract, I'm sure as time goes on, we'll get more details. Because what really matters with these contracts is the guaranteed money. That's what you really have to pay attention for. So dope that he got his bread. So happy now that I get to see him struggle against his Giants defense. It's just gonna be great. It's gonna be one to watch, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you. So stay tuned for that. Absolutely deserves it. He's the number one guy over there. I don't care what nobody says. Debo is not him anymore. Okay, so the Commanders needed to take care of this stuff in-house with that. So it's good that they got Jaden Daniels, his number one receiver, back for a few years for the future at the very least. Now, talking about drama and contract situations within our own division, Micah Parsons and the situation with the Dallas Cowboys. When is this thing going to ever come to an end, man? You know what I'm saying? And you got Jerry Jones out there and the video footage of him, having a little playful banter with his moms. Come on, what are you doing here, bro? Then he's on video talking crazy about kind of putting the agent down there, if you will. Look, man, Jerry Jones is going to Jerry Jones. However, as far as Mike is concerned, man, I think it's about time that you might have to bite that bullet, young man. Because quite frankly, for as much as I think you deserve this money, you were the one who were on your podcast talking about, or whatever the situation was, whether it was an interview or what have you, I forget. But I heard footage of you, audio, if you will, of you saying out your mouth that you don't care about the money, that you want to be a Dallas Cowboy for your career. Okay? So now it's coming to bite you. Now you're going to have to probably bite it back in the worst way. Because chances are, because Jerry already wants a deal. Jerry's going to Jerry. You know, some might say he's, and I have a theory that it all might be an act, because eventually it's just going to come to the point where Jerry's just going to fork over the money like he did with an Ezekiel Elliott, like he did with a Dak Prescott. Okay. However, on the flip side, there's a chance that he might not. This might be the exception to that rule for whatever reason. And now, if Micah wants to play and try to say, hold out or what have you, he has no leverage. He just doesn't. It's just a bad situation to be in. So Micah Parsons might have to put his head down and grind it out for the next couple of years, and hopefully things play out better. If not, it's going to be some uphill battles, some tough sledding, man, because, talking all that stuff a couple months ago, and I love the energy. I get it. However, these owners, especially a Jerry Jones, who is involved as he is with his franchise, these dudes is businessmen, man. That's just what that is. It's business over everything. So it sucks. I want to see Micah get paid. However, as a Giants fan, I kind of like to see the drama a little bit over there, because I think that whole situation is a ticking time boom boom device waiting to happen. So pay attention for that is all I'm saying. That being the case, talking about extensions and contracts and rookie situations or cuts and acquisitions. The roster cut day is happening as I'm recording this video here. It has been happening across these past couple days now. It's crazy because people over here saying that Shedeur is going to get cut this, Shedeur is going to get cut that. It's not happening. He's not getting cut. I think there's even some argument of him being sabotaged to a degree. However, I'm not going to get too detailed into that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, Shadeur's not getting cut. I don't even think Dylan Gabriel's going to get cut because, Kenny Pickett already got shipped out. So I think over there, as far as the Browns are concerned, it's going to be Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. And, of course, they got Deshaun Watson over there somewhere in an icebox or whatever the case might have you. So people are saying that they all this craziness about, down to Shedeur saying he's going to get cut and all that stuff. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? There's just no need for that. However, on the flip side, right, we also got to point out the nonsense for the people who were capping for Shedeur to the degree that they have. So much so that they were talking down on the Giants fans, okay? Or the Giants organization for not having selected Shedeur. Josina Anderson, okay? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to kick that young man while he's down, but Shedeur Sanders had a terrible last preseason game. He played the hero ball again. He's got to stop. That's just what that is. You can't put it all on your shoulders. It's just really simple mathematics. I think he is going to be something, just with like most rookies, man, he's just got to work out the kinks. But where I'm going with this is that there was another rookie quarterback that absolutely just went off. Like, there is no comparison to the other rookie quarterbacks compared to this one. The distance between the first and the second is that wide. And I'm talking about New Jack City Dart. Okay? Out of all the rookie quarterbacks, he finished with 32 completions for 47 attempts, 372 yards in the air, right? Because I'm pretty sure he had a significant amount on the ground as well. Couldn't find those stats. However, 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground. Remember that much as well. 0 turnovers with a QBR of 113 to finish out the preseason. Now I get it. Preseason this, preseason that. Look, since the Josina Andersons of the world want to be pointing at the Giants fans, right, about Shadeur's out, going off a couple weeks ago with the Panthers. I need that same energy from the people like her and the rest who say the same thing about that quarterback situation, to keep that same energy. Because now you should be telling the Browns fans, look away when Jackson Dart balls out. Okay? I need that same energy. For you to stay objectively, in objective good graces, you need to have that same energy. Okay? It's looking like Jackson Dart, even over Cam Ward at this point, and I get it, Cam Ward is going to be the starter and all that stuff, but I'm talking about preseason right now. There's no argument to be had. The numbers speak for themselves. Jackson Dart, New Jack City Dart, by far was the best rookie quarterback of the preseason. Now, does that mean I expect him to start? No. We still have Russell Wilson here. I am not one of those dudes who is beasting for Jackson Dart to start. Not at all. But I have to be able to point out to the hypocrisies, to some of the things that I see on the social medias, or even on some of these network shows, man. Because now some of these pundits, now after this rookie outing, now they're all of a sudden flipping the script. A couple months ago, they were saying the Giants was bums. Even after the draft, they were saying, oh, they made a mistake on passing on Shador. They're drafting New Jack City Dart. Right? But slowly but surely, all of a sudden, now the script is being flipped. And I just need to be able to point at the hypocrisies and all of this, because it's nonsensical at this point. Laughable. Okay? It is a circus when it comes to the media and the coverage of this team. However, just need to point that out. Again, Tap In Tuesdays is for Around the League news now. I will try not to get too crazy with the Giants. However, I just had to go on a little bit of a tangent there, man, because they're disrespecting the squad at this point, man. It's just, and to some degree, rightfully so. However, we ain't going to get too crazy, right? But speaking of noticeable cuts and continuing on with the Sanders situation, Shiloh Sanders, young man, oh, dude, got into the altercation with the player, and I look. We got to be able to sit here and look at the situation, and it was definitely on the player. He played well past the whistle. However, man, Shiloh Sanders and the emotions just probably got the best of him. And, I hate to say it, and I've noticed this over the years, he kind of does have a temper situation that has kind of gotten him into situations where he probably shouldn't have been in the first place, and as much as he should have. He just needs to rein that in. He just needs to control it. He immediately got cut after the situation. You went in as a UDFA. You weren't even drafted. So I just, and the same goes with Shador, except that Shador's shenanigans aren't as visceral as Shiloh's is. Because I think Shiloh has I'm no psychiatrist. I just think he has a little bit of a temper situation, if you will. However, a lot of these athletes do. It's just how you rein it in and how you, control it. And with him, now it's gotten him into a position where it's nothing but uphill for the rest of your career, young man. As if it wasn't a mountainous climb in and of itself to begin with. Now you got to go that much harder, that much straight, nose to the grindstone with it. You got to keep your head down now. And, I do think another team will scoop him up when, the waiver situation kicks in on Wednesday. I do think that a team will snatch him up for the low, probably put him somewhere, stash him for developmental purposes. Because I think Shiloh can ball. I think Shiloh can do some things. Now, am I saying he's this crazy safety? No, absolutely not. Because if that was the case, he would have gotten drafted. However, he has potential. He has the pedigree in the Sanders. He has the name, so yeah, I think he is definitely noteworthy as far as potential is concerned. And if there's a safety needy team out there who is able to snatch him up and just, put him in a situation for success, I see it coming to fruition. It's just, again, the young man has got to keep those emotions in check, man, because this is, there's a certain level of professionalism with this sport, man, that you have to maintain, especially in front of the cameras. So there's that. Roster cuts are going on as of me recording this. So I will have a segment on my main channel. I'll leave the description in the I'll leave the link in the description below. I'll be going over some of the roster cuts for the Giants once they're finalized, so check that out over there. However, I'm gonna just wrap it up over here for this quick little Tap In Tuesday. Just a couple little noticeable things I've noticed from the NFL news and what have you. So just wanted to put this on video just for you guys, let you know I'm still here, man. I ain't going nowhere. Okay, Tap In Tuesdays with Gh0stDog. This is an Aboriginal Sports original. Never forget that. So with that being the case, man, make sure you hit the subscribe if you're new here, especially if you feel the vibe. Make sure you hit that like, especially if you appreciate the way I spit on this mic. And that being the case, man, I'm gonna give y'all a big blue salute and peace.
Yo, it's Tap In Tuesday, the holy grail of the beat. What better day to spit gems? New York's legacy repeats. A weeknight, sing quiet, and for we it ain't dead. Gh0stDog vibes, breaking it down in your head. Sit back, roll a blunt, let's elevate in style. Recollect the memory, city vibes make it worthwhile. NFL fans gather round, we ready for the grind. This channel be my throne, leading you to unwind. Spitting facts on the mic, headphones censor the tone from the streets of the east. We making this our own. Tapping out Tuesday, but only for a while. Goodbye Tuesday, a pill now hard to swallow. Hit that like button and don't forget to follow. I'll be back soon, shit, it might be tomorrow.
This is a Gh0stDog mixtape original.